to be afraid to express what you want
Right.
and what you don't want.
Okay.
When to say no. When you adopt that method, life becomes easier. Having to deal with other people becomes something which you can actually enjoy and
Right.
have less stress.
Right. Now, when you mentioned about the person that actually is stressed and everyone else around him is stressed, how do you come out of that? Because I know this person who is that exactly in that spot. What is the solution? Because for me, I just see, okay, you're a lost cause now. There's no saving you now. But how would you try to save that person from?
Jason, we have to remember that these four types are not four mutually exclusive kinds of people. We all have all these four types in us.
Okay.
At times we are passive aggressive, all of us sometimes, and sometimes we are aggressive, sometimes we are passive, and sometimes we are assertive. What we need to do is to make ourselves and others more assertive. That is the best that we can do. More assertive people around you, happier you are. More assertive you are, happier you are. So if somebody is passive aggressive, as I'm sure when I describe these four types, people must be remembering, okay, that one was passive aggressive, that one is mostly passive aggressive, and at that time he was passive aggressive. So when somebody is passive aggressive, which is the most difficult way to deal with when somebody is behaving in that way, perhaps it's very difficult. Perhaps one way is to just tell the person,
Right.
you're trying to be difficult,
Right.
The other way, the best way to deal with these non-good or harmful ways of dealing with people is to be assertive yourself.
Okay.
So you just tell the person, say somebody's name, and say Mary, you are trying to be difficult. You are making us unhappy.
Right.
It's difficult to be with you now. Do you want me to leave? So you be straight and you be firm, and you tell the person what you feel and what you observe.
Mary, I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to go into a quick commercial break right now. We'll go into a quick commercial break and we'll be right back with more of the doctor to speak about stress.
Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Sri Lanka. Well, if you've missed the previous segment, well, too bad for you, because we had a very educational spot right here on Good Morning Sri Lanka today, because we were talking about stress. But it ain't too late, because we got Mr. Mahesh Rajasiri, who is a real opinion farmer and a person who could really endorse what this is all about and give some feedback to the audience, which you guys as well, on the tips.
Yeah, in case you just tuned in to MTV, the doctor has actually been on the show before.
Yeah.
And we were just getting into...
but this is the first time I'm getting to have a chat with him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm very grateful for that.
Okay.
So doctor, where we stopped before the break, just to resume, this is one of those topics that is very common right now, job stress. Because so many people, so many industries, as I said before, have this load of this thing, like executive level employees have stress because of their immediate supervisors, and the immediate supervisors get pressure from their CEOs, and the CEOs have stress from the industry itself. So it's a cycle, I guess.
Yes.
How do you deal with it?
It's a cycle, and it has become a culture.
Yeah.
And one myth is that the stress versus performance that we just discussed in the first segment. Some people believe that yes, of course, more stress you put, more performance you get. Correct. But some people believe you put massive stress, you will get a wonderful load of performance. No, that's wrong. So with that myth, some people, some organizations think that they need to put an awful lot of stress on their employees to get the maximum out of them. That's wrong. That makes the performance lower. And you do that for children as well.
Right.
To get the best out of them, you put a lot of stress, and that actually makes them perform less. So the office culture or the culture in your organization, institution may be contributing to your stress because of this myth. The other thing is that in the modern world, what we see in the workplace especially, not only in the workplace, anywhere else, is that we have to deal with a large number of stimuli within a short period of time. Now, for an example, 10-15 years ago, not so long ago, just 10-15 years ago, you would, wake up in the morning, the phone might ring once,
Right.
the old, wired phone, and then you take the bus and go to work and come back. Today when you wake up, the phone is ringing, and there are 3 SMSs to respond to, and there's a new email as well, or several emails. And you need to respond to them, and then calls keep coming even when you're and you can take the phone to the bathroom. That's the worst thing, and it will keep on ringing, right? And you have to respond. You feel an urge to respond to them, right? And I'm sure 80% of these calls are not urgent, not really needed responding immediately, but you do respond. So and while you are talking on the phone, your wife wants to know what you want to carry for work, or there are many things you need to respond to when you are working. There's a client in front of you, and the phone again is ringing, or giving a beep that there's an SMS coming, or it reminding you of a meeting that is happening in another few minutes time.
Right.
These can make your life more organized and less stressful, but on the other hand, having to respond to many things in a short period of time
Right.
can make it very, very difficult.
Right.
Can make you feel very stressed. And I told you the vicious cycle. When you are stressed, your reactions to the next stressor, the next event, may be worse than you would if you were less stressed. That would make so the worst reaction, or the bad reaction, would make the stress more,
Right.
and you become more stressed, and you do something really not really helpful, perhaps even harmful.
Yeah.
So that is. And the other thing in the workplace today, and not only in the workplace, in other places as well, is this undue competitiveness. We have created the competition. We want to beat the other person. The salary has to be at least several hundreds of rupees more than the other person. The car has to have a bigger, larger engine, and the number of holidays we spent away from the country compared to the next person, the number of trips, and so this competitiveness also gives rise to a lot of stress in workplace.
Right. It's like when you spoke about it, for me, it sounded a lot like it's a lifestyle of how people are living when it comes to the corporate world, when it comes to your personal life itself. And it also sounds like it's a lot of negative energy that they're trying to input onto their employees or their family members, whatever it is. Let me ask you this question. What if, by some miracle, this lifestyle choice was changed by, instead of negative energy, people would be more supportive, more of the positive vibe? Would that relieve a lot of stress? Just to say the CEO of a company, just picture this. The CEO one day just wakes up and be like, you know what, maybe I'll try this. Maybe I'll be more helpful and more supportive to my employees.
I can actually add a little bit on that, Jason.
Yeah.
I do think a lot of companies in Sri Lanka, for that matter, follow the global trend of becoming employee-oriented, where the center of attraction, where the centric focal point is the employee itself rather than the customer that we all know. So I think we're getting to that era where we really think out of the box. There isn't a box in the first place, but
hypothetically, here at Good Morning Sri Lanka, we speak in something you don't understand.
So getting back, do you see that future? Is it an emerging theme, as Jason said, which is coming up?
I'm not sure whether we are stepping into that era as yet, but definitely studies have shown that it can work. It does work when the culture is changed. Well, I can say that the theme is emerging because some organizations have started talking about the change of culture, where a different set of values come into play. And as you said, more employee oriented, the person oriented, the group oriented, the community, the work community, rather than sales figures and facts and figures and tables and so that can really when you change the office culture, that can really change the way people feel
Right.
and their loyalty, right? Rather than grinding them to get more work out of them, you make them feel happier, and it has shown that people becomes more loyal
Yeah.
to the organization
That is
after
true.
that.
So, assuming it's a win-win situation, which is the exact reason why we're having the conversation in the first place, why isn't it being, currently worked on? Why is it that we're still in that traditional format where we're so much under pressure, and then you're scared to go to your boss and talk to him or her about your personal
Doctor,
issues?
if I may
Yeah?
answer this for you, Banu, my
Yes.
friend.
Yeah, Jason.
I know. To be honest, I believe it's the way when you're born into this world. It's been drilled into your head that this is the way of life.
So the society teaches you.
There you go.
That's a good point.
You did answer for me, yes.
Yeah.
That's my answer. This is the passive way,
Yeah.
right? We have been trained, brought up to believe that being passive is the best thing that you can do in life,
Yeah.
right? To please others, never to say no, always to think of only others and not yourself. That is the way, boy. That's what we have been told.
Yeah.
That is what we have been taught. And we are, we really want to produce obedient children rather than children with a good backbone.
Right.
Independent, assertive, innovative children.
Right.
We want to produce obedient children.
Right.
So these children would obviously become obedient adults one day,
Mhm.
who would never ask a question.
Yeah. They'll never challenge authority,
Never.
if I'm correct. Okay.
But you need to have a balance, though. You have to be obedient. You need to listen to what others say as well. But I think what Dr. is trying to encode here is that you need to strike a balance in between the two. Don't let anyone walk over you, and then stand your ground for anything right and that you believe in. Jason?
Yeah, no, I agree to a certain extent. That's your way of living. That my
Yes.
lifestyle is a lot more. Whatever makes me happy, I would do it. For me, whatever I would feel is right for me, I would do it.
But what if it's wrong?
I'll
Doctor?
settle it.
Yes.
The battle. You both are correct. The difference is in the individual value system.
Yeah.
So you need to go for what you want, what makes you happy.
Yeah.
But for a person, what makes him or her happy, maybe to see genuine happiness in people around him or her, right? So somebody gives something to somebody, and say somebody who really needed it.
Yeah.
Perhaps your favorite wristwatch or whatever, and that really makes that person very, very happy, or fulfills a need which is a burning need in that person's life. Not necessarily always a monetary financial thing.
Yeah.
It may be time, it may be just a pat on the back, it may be just an acknowledgement,
Yeah.
and that makes you happy.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that person does it for his or her own happiness, but he's happy.